So all right. Something on my keyboard was weird. So I just wanted to let you guys know that my EP, which is called "I Don't Know How to Sleep," actually I think it's properly like on iTunes and stuff called "I Don't Know How to Sleep" EP, came out on Friday, and I was doing stuff. I was working outside at my parents' property, helping them get stuff cleaned up, and I completely forgot about it until I went on iTunes and saw it. I checked my email and I saw, hey, your album's live, and I'm like, oh yeah, I did that. So that released. There are two versions of it out. There's one on like all of the major stuff like iTunes and Amazon and like Google Play, YouTube Music, all that stuff. That has 5 tracks. That has the intro where I talk about what's going to happen, and the outro where I talk about what happened, and then the 3 songs. And then there's a version on Bandcamp, which has, I think, 4 more tracks, and that's me going over the process of writing them. So the idea behind the album is I wrote lyrics and music together for the first time in like 2 years. And then I took my phone and I went into that room right there, which is my bathroom, and I like threw down towels and I hung towels, and I used my iPhone and I recorded the album process, the whole creation process of writing the music and coming up with the melody, and then I performed the song basically, and that's the version that got released everywhere. Those recordings are the only times I've played those songs right now, which means if I ever have to play them live, I will have to go back and listen to them and learn them and refine them, which is going to be fun. It's going to be fun. But yeah, so the bonus tracks, 3 of them for the Bandcamp thing, 3 of them are just the writing process. 1 of them is me talking for like 6 or 7 minutes about the backstory behind one of the songs. It was originally going to be part of the writing process for that song, but then that whole track would have been like 11 minutes, and I didn't need that. So I broke it up into 2 tracks. But that's a really cool thing for me. And then, in addition, I just got some new stuff for recording. I got, I'll show you. So I'm currently working on Commisions stuff. I've got like a whole album that I'm working on. And I needed to kind of upgrade my stuff. What I've got, what I've had for the last little while has been working really well, but I've never, or I guess I haven't since kind of when I started producing my own stuff, which was 6.5, almost 7 years ago now. When I started doing that, that's really the last time I invested a deep amount of money or really significantly over like $75 at a time to any of my stuff. A lot of my things that I have been gifts, which has been just wonderful. I mean, it's been amazing, but I needed to kind of put forth. I felt that I needed to put forth some of like my own finances toward improving my setup. So recently I've purchased some new software. I'm upgrading my computer's RAM so I can use some of that new software that I just got because I tried using it and it crunched out 60% of my computer's CPU. So I'm upgrading some stuff. And there's been some recent acquisitions that I guess kind of count towards improving my studio quality, but it's not in the same way. So I just about 4 or 5 months ago got this guy. So this is a Sterling by Music Man sub-series Stingray 5 bass. And it is lovely. and I absolutely adore this thing. I currently own 2 bass guitars. I have this, and then I have a Squier by Fender, Jazz Precision bass. It's got both the jazz bass pickups and the precision bass pickups. And I got that a couple of years ago, and then right after that I got a Metal Driver Rickenbacker copy, and it had the same electronics setup. So I converted the Squier to a fretless, and then last year I was really wanting to upgrade back to a 5-string because my first bass was a 5-string, and I really wanted the Music Man, so I got this guy, and gave my brother the Metal Driver because he needed a good bass, and I didn't need 3, so I've got a fretless, and then I've got the 5-string, and I made some of my spare dice into the knobs because I collect dice, and I thought it looked really cool, and thematically it works for the name that I gave this bass, which is Professor Harold Hill. And I'm not going to explain that because I don't need to. But yeah, so it's a nice bass, and it's very versatile, and I love it. So I guess this was really kind of the beginning of me starting to invest my own stuff into this. I've got a wonderful keyboard. I've got a chord micro arranger that my uncle bought for me a year or 2 back, and this is one of my favorite pieces of gear. I've taken it and used it to play live. I use it when I record. It right now just sits on my desk in front of my computer and my second monitor, and it's right there. And then I just got some new speakers, so I'm not just using my laptop speakers or headphones. And then I also so I've been using this microphone. Oh geez, the stand is coming off my desk. Why would you do this to me right now? So this is a Tonor. It's a condenser mic. It's a really good mic. I mean, it's like $20, and it sounds way better than it has any right to for being $20. I got this. So my grandfather and my uncle both passed away last year, and that was last year sucked really bad. That's all I'm going to say. But this microphone was Grandpa's, and so was the stand that it's on, and so were the new speakers that I got, and those ended up in my possession. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to talk about that. This is not a sad video. My interface is a Focusrite Scarlett 18i8. Yeah, 18i8. Which is a fantastic piece of gear. I was given this. I got this from a job I had. It was my first sound job after graduating. They weren't using it. They were going to throw it away. They were just going to get rid of it, and it still worked. And so they let me have it. They let me take it home, which was just wonderful. I was using a Behringer UM202 Euphoria interface at the time, and that's a fantastic piece of gear too. I gave that to my brother. And then I've got a USB mic. I got a Blue Snowball, which is right here. It is one of the first pieces of gear I invested in when I first started doing this. So that was 2014, mid-2014. This guy right here. I love this microphone. Before I went to school for sound engineering, one of the best pieces of music I had ever recorded, and actually since I've been to recording school, one of the best pieces of music I've ever recorded was using this mic exclusively. It was ukulele, cajon, and vocals. I recorded everything on this microphone, and it sounds as good as stuff I recorded in a full-on studio with professional grade stuff. This guy right here. and this was $40 at the time. They're like 70 now because they've got like a less featured snowball. But yeah, I actually got this. I got this because I saw that Daniela Andrade had one. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. I saw her using it, and I'm like, if the vocals sound that good on that microphone, I'm gonna get one. And it was $50. I bought this and a CAD condenser, which I gave my brother, because I wasn't gonna give him this one. This is my favorite microphone, and when it dies, I'm buying another one. But it has worked fantastically for almost 6 years now, I guess. And it hangs out in my backpack. It goes with me pretty much everywhere I go. Even if I'm not going to use it, I take my laptop and this microphone basically everywhere I go, just in case I decide to make music. Of course, there's a bunch of crap in my backpack right now, but we're not going to talk about that. So, putting stuff into my work and this setup. I'm working on an album for someone right now, and I'm doing the full demo. I'm doing all of the music, and I'm doing the vocals for the demos. And I've been using this Tonor mic. I think it's Tonor. Yeah, Tonor. Tonor. I had a newer NW800. I have no idea where that thing is. So I'm using this one. I've been using this one. And then last week, I was like, I need to get a new microphone. I need to get another microphone so I can, if I'm recording acoustic guitar, I want to be able to double mic and have, 2 different tonalities. I want to be able to do more things. And so I got this. This is an AudioTechnica AT2020, and I love AudioTechnica gear. I love their mics. I love their headphones. This boom stand that came with it, it's the podcasting streaming kit. My computer's on the box. Yeah, streaming podcasting pack. So it came with the boom arm, it came with the microphone, and it came with these, which are ATH M20Xs. We used these, or the M30 or M40Xs, when I was in school. So I'm familiar with this series of headphones, and I adore them. I have wanted to get a set of these for years, and when I decided that I was going to get a new microphone, I was looking at stuff, and I saw this bundle, and it came with the good headphones and a new boom arm, which I needed anyway, and the microphone. I'm like, well, the decision has been made for me. I actually haven't recorded anything on this yet. I'm getting ready to. After this video, I'm going to be setting into work on some more of that album that I'm working on. So I'm very excited. But I just wanted to kind of share with you kind of some of my setup. I have an iMac over on the table. That's what I'm upgrading the RAM in, because I want to be able to use my laptop for not work things, or at least when it is being used for work things, I don't want it to be all the heavy duty stuff. I want to be able to take that with me and just, take my 25 key keyboard and like my launch pad and just work on the fun, like goofy stuff, like the Motorcycle no Kami electronic stuff. And so that's kind of what I want this to be for. That thing was just chugging down when I was trying to use stuff. And so I decided to upgrade the RAM. And I found some RAM that is compatible with it that I have because I work on computers for fun. I do a lot of gaming, so I've taken apart several computers and I just keep the pieces. I think I have like 10 hard drives just laying around right now to be converted into external drives. But yeah, so I was checking the RAM in that thing, and I thought it was running on 8 gigs of RAM. It's running on 4 gigs of RAM, which is ridiculous. I'm not sure what the laptop's running on. I think it's probably 6 or 8 gigs, but obviously I've been wrong. So I've got 16 gigs coming, and I'm going to kind of play it by ear, but I will likely end up upgrading both of them a little bit. So yeah. But I've got a really nice setup. I really like it. The only problem is this is just a glass door to the backyard. And there are people who like to mow. and use big tools in the backyard and in the surrounding yards. So there's some interference. I have to be careful about recording when I do it. It's turned out really well so far. So I like that. And there was a bin behind me that had some chickens in it, because my father-in-law raises chickens, and they were in here until they were big enough to go out to the coop and like not die. And I'm allergic to their droppings and like the feathers and everything, and it was 2 feet behind me. So that caused some problems in here when I was trying to record. And it also caused some problems in the microphone when I was trying to record. Not an issue anymore. But I'm also in the basement, and there's a whole like house above me, and so people walking also can interfere. There's no door to the stairs, so like if the TV's really loud, or either of my children are like upset and they're loud about it, it's quite audible. But the studio may be getting ready to move. We may be getting ready to move. And if and when we do, the studio will also go with us to a different spot that's hopefully a little bit more dedicated. But yeah, so noise. I've just got kind of an area down here that I use, and I really like it. It's extremely functional, and it does a very good job with what I need it to. And I guess I've already shown off or talked about two instruments I have. I've got I've got 5 instruments here with me. I've got the keyboard, which when I first got it, I got it because I thought it had a USB hookup, and it's got accordion-sized keys. So on the size of a 48-key keyboard, I've got 61, which was fantastic. Does not have a USB hookup, so I had to get a USB to MIDI converter. Whatever. Super simple, and it works swimmingly. So that's nice. So this keyboard is not only locked, it doesn't just have the sounds on it, and because it will plug in with just like an XLR. This is not an XLR, a 1/4 inch. But now that I have the MIDI, I can use any of the instruments I have downloaded into Ableton and have 61 keys to play with. Then I've got the bass. I have an electric drum kit over there in a bucket, in a tote. The frame for which is holding up the blanket and a pair of jeans and a coat, because this is a glass door and it gets freaking cold. So I keep warm things here so I can work and not get just completely frozen out. My chair squeaks. I hate it. But yeah, I've got the electric, like the pads and the cymbals and everything, in that bin. I got that from my uncle, although he gave that to me when he was still alive. So that wasn't, yeah, anyway. In that tote also, I've got a Guitar Hero guitar, and my Boss Multi-Effects pedal, which is a lovely, lovely piece of gear that I have had for several years, and is one of my favorite things, because it has a loop pedal on it, and I had never dealt with loop pedals before, and it changed the way I arrange live music. So that was cool. That was fun. Then I've got an acoustic guitar. It's a Washburn Comfort Series something. But I love it. I have 2 Washburns. This one was a birthday present from my uncle a couple years back. And that one is named Briar. My other one is named Mayday. The drum kit doesn't have a name. The keyboard doesn't have a name, because in my heart and my soul, I'm a guitarist and a bassist. Those are what get named. And then I have the current electric guitar in my rotation, because I only keep one with me here, is my Squier Jazzmaster. and I love that guitar. I got it last year, and I'm gonna bring it over here. I'm gonna grab it. It just leans kind of right up against the desk. I don't have a case for it, and I don't have stands here, so it just leans haphazardly, and I hate that. But it's what I have. So yeah, this is Maya, my absolute dream guitar, specifically because they make Jazz Masters with different electronic setups. You can get a double humbucker. This is the P90 size Duncan design. I think they might be P90s. They might just be P90 size single coils. But it's got the original electronic setup with the two systems, basically. And that was big for me. That's what I wanted. When I first started playing guitars, I don't think Jazz Masters were in production at all. I think this is before they started reissuing them, so they were like stupid expensive. But when I started playing guitar, I had a book pack basically that gave you exercises and taught you how to play chords, like the fingering styles, stuff like that. And it came with a guitar facts book. It was like the history of the electric guitar, and it showed a bunch of different models. I basically made a list from that. Music Man, I don't know if it had been bought by Ernie Ball yet, so there were no Music Man guitars in production, there were no Jazz Masters in production, and those are like my top favorite guitars from that book, was stuff by Music Man and this guy. So this is really my dream bass that I've got and my dream guitar, which is why this is called Maya. Maya means dream. And the name itself and the meaning hold significance to me because I wrote stories. I still do sometimes, but I wrote stories a lot more when I was younger. And like the biggest story, original story that I ever wrote was based on a dream. And the main female protagonist in the dream was named Maya. In the dream. And then I looked up the meaning when I was going to write a story based on it, and I found out that Maya meant dream, and I'm like, well, that's freaky. But yeah, so Maya, my dream guitar. I have some issues with it that I was kind of unaware of when I bought it. And I mean, like, that's going to happen, and they're not big deals. It's stuff that is fixable, for the most part. The tremolo doesn't, like, lock in. I didn't know that. I didn't know it was just a pop it in, and I thought it clicked in. No, you just set it in there. Not a big deal. I kind of like that. It was an issue for me when I first got it, but it's not now. Something that is still an issue for me is the saddles. I hate these saddles. It's like, it's all thread. And it's so easy to move a string and just completely knock it out of tune or intonation. So I need to replace the bridge on this thing. But that is for a later date. This guitar, I mean, it plays really well. I got it set up, and it does what I want it to do. It's a really versatile guitar, which is fantastic for the album I'm working on because it's a very eclectic mix of genres. But it's fun, and that's why I grabbed this guitar instead of the one I was using, because the one I was using just wasn't as versatile. So that's kind of my setup. I've got an acoustic, the drums, which I only use sometimes because I'm really not much of a drummer. I know how to play them, and I'm all right, but I can do a way better job clicking in a beat with my mouse on Ableton and just messing with the velocities to make it sound like it was played. But I play everything else, so I don't care. But yeah, this video got really ranty. So, in summary, my EP released. Please go check it out. If you just want the music, you can stream it on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you can stream music, basically. You can also buy it from, iTunes, uh, Google Play Music, Amazon. If you are interested in the process, kind of how I go about writing music, you can go to Bandcamp and you can buy it from there. You might be able to stream it, but I don't know what all I said to stream because I set that up a month ago at 6 in the morning after having been up all day. So yeah, please go check those out. One more thing. This right here. This is a candle. This one in particular is baked apple pie. I love this candle. I've burnt this candle basically the entire process of working on this album. I love candles. I have loved candles for years. I collect them. I make them. And whenever I'm working, this guy is burning. Oh, dang. Too much smoke in there. Dang it. I'm going to have to grab a paper towel to light that. But, that's one of my favorite candles right now. I've got a wood wick over there that I just got from my dad that just smells fantastic. But for me, this apple pie candle is my work candle right now. Somebody mowing. I find candles weirdly inspiring. They feel like home to me. I grew up camping a lot, and whenever we had a power outage, we had oil lamps, so the fire, the flickering, is just very peaceful and homey to me. So that. And we had those old style, actually there's one right here, like a gas heater. So there was always fire going in the house whenever it was cold or whenever the power went out. So it's very reminiscent of my childhood and simpler days when I wrote music first. And it was simple because I was 15 and I didn't know any better. I miss those days. God, 10 years ago. Anyway, so I wrote music and it's out now, and I've written a lot of music, and more of it will be out later this year. And I'm currently writing music, and that will be out. So it's the I Don't Know How to Sleep EP. I Don't Know How to Sleep EP. That's better. That was a weird thing that happened in my throat. The album that will be coming out later this year is called Growing Pains Volume 1, and Introduction is in order. Or it may be called a proper introduction. It's had several album titles over the years. But it's basically the first 11 songs I wrote that weren't garbage. I know for a fact I wrote more songs during that period, but they weren't all necessarily meant to go on the album, and they especially weren't all good. So yeah, I may actually add a 12th song, because there's a song I wrote in that period of time that I like, that I think kind of fits the feel of that album. It's just a very basic, simplistic, goofy, I'm 15 song. So yeah, there'll probably be 12 tracks on it. But that'll be coming out later this year. I'm working on my electronic instrumental project, which is called Murasaki no Kami. That is the first album that came out on iTunes. You can find that, iTunes, Spotify, Bandcamp, Google, Amazon, wherever. I sound very apathetic about that. I'm very excited about it, but trying to remember everywhere it is just hurts my brain. And there's more music coming out for that, which I'm very excited about. I really like, that music. It's different than what I was writing before, with lyrics. You know, it's different than the I'm 15 stuff. So yeah, I'm working on commissions. And like some of that is just, you know, for people's personal use. Some of it is supposed to be released. So whenever that happens, you know, I'll be posting updates about that. But I'm not gonna like give details on it right now because I want to make sure that it's, you know, working. It's working so far, and I'm really pleased with it. I'm getting ready to work on it. But yeah. So I digress a lot. Yeah, I'm also working on covers. I want to do more covers for the channel, and I want to do more original music on the channel. So I'm going to be working on recording videos, getting a better setup. My brother, who is a very good cinematographer and very good with this in general, I'm going to try and get his help. And actually, I'm going to plug him. You can check him out at, I don't know if he's changed his channel name yet. It's either Noah Bennett or DMZ Geek. And he and my cousin have a channel together called The Hardy Bros, or Hardy Brothers Entertainment, Hardy Bros Entertainment. And they do very funny videos. I'm a huge fan of my brothers, genuinely. So go check him out and go check them out. And you'll kind of get an idea for like the quality of stuff that he does. He's invested a lot into being able to record good quality videos. So yeah, I've got stuff coming, and I'm working on stuff, but I'm also hopefully getting ready to move. I have 2 children and a wife, so there's a balance. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed listening to me talk for an ungodly period of time. And you know, if you guys are interested in hearing anything in particular, you know, if there are any songs that you want to hear, let me know in the comments. If you have music that you want to create and are having trouble with it, if you need help with writing lyrics or you need music written, I do commissions. My email for that will be in the description, as will links to kind of the main pages for the albums that I've released, and my brother's channels. So those will be there. I am determined to make this year better than last year was, because last year was a garbage year. This year has been an absolute nutso year for the world. But that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be for everybody. So this year will be better for me, and I hope this channel and my work going forward reflects that. So, yeah. Thanks. Whatever time of day it is, I hope you're having a good one, and I will talk to you guys later.